Well, hello, it's Lee. That's gonna be good. Bear with me. Alright. Namaste and love. Well, today I just simply wanted to talk about the importance of letting go of having to overemphasize something. And by that I simply mean there are realities, there are things that are, for lack of a better word, bear with me, isnesses, and the isness of something. And when we have a tendency to overcomplicate it unnecessarily, and here's simply what I mean, if you'll pardon my strange introduction, that someone can and should be able to do something good and kind, or whatever we do. And of course I'm talking in a spiritual and religious context, as what my videos are mostly about. And to say, you can do something good, and you can make a nice action, a nice word, without needing to put a specific religious context on it, or an attachment of a word to it, or a cultural or class or caste on it. Because what I'm noticing is, like for example, I have a video that's somewhat popular on shadow attacks, shadow people, nighttime attacks, visitations by what for simplicity termed by demonic entities or negative entities. That's a reality. Now, whether we want to call it, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's the other thing, the fact is it's a reality. But what I'm hoping for people more and more to realize is that, and that's just one example, it fits in broadly with many things. We don't need to say, okay, well it's in Christianity it's called that, or in Islam it's that, and then the person who has been brought up with that teaching, the training, the culture, even that tradition, needing to say, but it's this, and then when we do that, we're condensing it to something, and then in some cases, yeah, it's the reference point from which we're coming from, or what we have, but it's to realize that the bigger thing behind that is that it's not attached to religion or a culture. Because I noticed that for a lot of people that follow Christianity, and I'm a huge fan of Christ, consciousness of the Christ itself, which Jesus even said, you too be this. And this is an availability. So when saying I'm receiving a demonic attack, or even if I'm doing the positive, I'm doing something good, I better mention the name of Jesus or God, otherwise I did something wrong. You see, this is putting an unnecessary overemphasis on something. Back to the example of the shadow attack, or if a Muslim person says, oh, well, it's the jinn, you should read up on it, but then again, you're falling into the religion, the culture. We have to try to learn to, okay, while we can have those, and those are varieties of spices of life, and it would be boring if there was only one thing to say. I understand. But let's look at it that person's perspective is valid, the experience is real, and let's agree that the reality of the situation is an isness, it's happening, but we don't have to emphasize it and make it such a compartmentalization or context. You see, a long time ago, the gods of the planet, who were high-level beings, decided that it is important, because souls had to get their training here, they had to learn by increments. And it was important to make sure that the world was shaped such an amount of size and the right proportions and portions, and that country would have that culture and that would have that. And gradually, as souls slowly started evolving and this and that, and getting, all these things, the training, the learning, the awarenesses, that over time now, yes! Now we're coming to what a lovely Asian dude wrote. Asian, he's a soul. I'm just saying it because it's from there. East and West come together, North and South, everybody's blending. I like how he worded it. Be the international cosmopolitan soul. And I love to see, for example, ancient Hindu souls born in white Western bodies who love the culture and love that, and then they're speaking that. I love to see Africans really following traditionally Western things. When, like, for example, Catholic priests or something. I'm not a fan of Catholicism myself, but I'm just giving an example of, I like this blending, I like these crossovers, these yin-yang things that are happening. And because it's happening, it is more and more wonderful, and it's a global thing, and it is indeed preparing us to go now, finally, to go past all these things. Some of us we're already there, not needing to be bickering on race and culture and style of presentation, or my religion's right and yours is wrong because my book said so. I have a lovely friend from Afghanistan who said the beautiful thing, I do not respect a person of one book. Indeed, we need to encapsulate a lot of things. It's not to insult anyone or the tradition, but when we learn to encapsulate more things and expose ourselves to things. You see, it's fear that says don't do it, or I'll receive a punishment of some kind, or someone won't like me, or a judgment, or my parents. It can be a lot of reasons. But we have to understand, get past the fear, analyze it. Because if you feel truthfully that you're correct and you're right, then you won't be aggressive, you won't be on the attack. A lot of people that are trying to teach spirituality are not doing a very good job. Or, I mean, maybe they're saying it for those who need that type, and that's where they're at, but to make it narrow, to make it so narrow, and so it's exactly this and nothing else. But what we need to look at is, and I agree, but I'm going to use the word in a different way, to say that it is the isness itself to look at, without the attachment of something. So, what's happening now is people can realize, you don't have to say, oh, I did a good deed. Oh, but you better make sure you give the honor to Jesus. How about just do the good deed? Then you are being the Jesus. Then you are being the Buddha. Then whatever you want to call it, because it's like a form of self-denial. You see, because we're taught to self-deprecate. We're taught to stay down and give it up to the elites, and even evil secret societies use that against people. Media, black magician, mind control, all that boring stuff. It's not a very big power. It's a power, but it's not a big power. It's childish. And the point is, when people are promoting divisions, you see, that's what the evil likes to do, is promote divisions. It exists to make people fight. It exists to create conflict. When we get addicted to conflicts, nobody in their right mind likes conflict. So what we have to do is take a step back and realize the unity of something. When something is an isness, let's talk about it. We can use the style that we want. But as long as we are being aggressive or overly defensive or something like that, some kind of negativity, then we ourselves are not in the right. Even if we were right, we were wrong. Right? We see how that works. So I try to remind myself as well that be self-conscious, aware that, okay, if I'm saying something, if I'm using a reference point, and to be sensitive to various sides, but the point is, if someone wishes to talk to me about a subject matter and I wish to discuss the subject, then if we're going to do it peacefully, then I don't care if the person is this, that, or the other, the color, the race, the class, this and that. It's instantaneously non-existent anyway, really, in the depth of it. But now that we've gotten past the divisions of cultures and things and styles, as long as we can look at the heart of the matter itself, love is love. The sky is blue. The sun does give life to all these things on the planet. Water, the same thing, blah, 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 whatever. Whatever we want to look at, but the thing itself, without, here's a thing, and now I'm attaching all these clauses and subcategories to it. We like to go into semantics sometimes, we like to be philosophers sometimes, but the main thing is to look at the issue as it is, without an ego in it, without an attachment to something, or rather, maybe to be aware of when we're doing it in as least amount as possible when we can. Because then we're creating that international cosmopolitan soul that we already are. We get so attached in our little compartment box, but when we erase these things, then I say to myself, oh, my soul's history has done this, and your soul's history has done this. Inwardly, we are all black, white, Asian, etc., etc. We are all Christian, Hindu, Muslim, etc., etc., etc. What did the beautiful Gandhi say? My religion is truth. My religion is truth. And that's the most important thing, and that's just what I wanted to mention, because I'm seeing still that it's less and less, but I'm still seeing some bickering in points of view and people saying, yeah, that's all true, but trust me, you better give it up to Jesus or you're in trouble. Like, I'm trying to tell people, well, being good is good. You won't be unjust. No one is going to be unjustly condemned to a bad karmic reaction or something. What you sow, you reap. Natural stuff. It's natural karma, it's natural laws. And we are dealing with this, and this is it. So that's my message for now, is just to remind some people about it, because I still see it a lot. And I wish that maybe it's on my mind a lot, because I'm watching my children, my son and my daughter. My son and daughter are young. They will have fights. They will fight over things. I'm like, over that, guys. Over that, oh, but they're trying to find justice. They're trying to find something, but it's a matter of saying, well, did you aggress unnecessarily? Did you backbite too viciously? Did you get revenge badly? Well, who's right, who's wrong? What's the problem? Let's get to the heart of the matter. And sometimes I get upset with myself because I react harshly to them, because sometimes my patience is not always there. Guys, that's normal. That's reality. But yes, to bring it down to the isness of the situation, that's all that has to be done. So when people are bickering, really, is it really such an important issue to add this and that? To have to prove something that didn't really need to be proven, maybe? These are questions that we could ask. My thoughts for the day. A holy, humble Namaste. I wish you well, wherever you are in your sojourn, and we can only but increase, and we do it faster when we try to deprogram. We already are Buddhas. It's just a matter of shaking off whatever thoughts and things and impressions that told us we weren't. They kept us back. Shush it all away. The great Buddha Isness, the great Christ Isness that's available for us, says simply, I'm already here, and I will love you at the level that you allow me to. And you become it, you become me. People talk about God and God. There's many layers of God and gods and archetypes and systems and powers and principalities, but those themselves aren't the God of gods. The God of gods is a nameless thing. We can't really say it. So I'm trying to call it the Om. That's maybe not bad, but even that doesn't say it, because only it itself can describe itself, and we don't understand it until we're there. We can reflect upon it in a nice style, sound and lights and colors and names and all sorts of things, but it itself is beyond all descriptions. We are it. We are from the source. We're not separate. We're not something that's not there and all of a sudden there. We are not a body. We are the source. We are put out into many things for experiences. The good, the bad, the ugly, to remember and to appreciate and reappreciate what it took and what it is. And that's the exhale and the inhale of the eternal dance. Perfection and not to be perfection in order to reappreciate perfection. And this is fantastic. Many people on the planet now would have no problem going to a different planet with blue-skinned people and all sorts of stuff, because, hey, I'm getting along with blacks, whites, and reds and yellows here, might as well do another color. It doesn't matter, this stuff. So again, I'm being silly, but the emphasis, get to the core of it. The core isness is oneness, is the beauty of all things. I wish you well, and more videos to come. Treat yourself, no matter what time of day it is that you're hearing my video. If you want to, treat yourself right now to something. I'll get an ice cream. I'll have a beer if I need it. Oh, I'll meditate. Whatever things that you like for yourself or things that you need or require, just treat yourself. Just the guilt, the shame. It's not about doing a bad thing. A bad thing is a deliberation to harm somebody. Deliberation to harm yourself is the ego's having a problem. But let's just take that away and just say, just want to be happy, enjoy something. If you're happy doing nothing and being nothing, even better. There's a lady who wrote a wonderful book. Doing nothing, being nobody. She's a Buddhist philosopher. Interesting. I can't remember her name, but anyway, let's think about that too. All right, cheers.